Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim, L'chaim. This week's Torah portion is Ki Tavo. It opens up speaking about the Bikurim, which is the first fruits offering that was brought to Jerusalem. It also speaks about the tithes to the poor, and it has a relisting of the blessings and curses that were pronounced on Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal. And it ends by Moshe telling the people that you have now today attained eyes to see and a heart to know. And what many people focus on, and what I'll be focusing on, is the Bikurim, the first fruits offering, where a farmer who would basically see their first fruits be produced, they would take a red string and tie it around, and they would take those first fruits to Jerusalem, where they would bring them up to the Beis HaMikdash, and they would offer them there. And the Kohanim would take them, and he would do this whole process of lifting them up. And there would be a huge festival in Jerusalem during this time. It's such a joyous occasion. And I wanted to give a teaching from the Baal Shem Tov because on Shabbat is Chai Elul, the 18th of Elul, which is his birthday. And the teaching that I heard, or the teaching that I read from the Baal Shem Tov, was very deep and very much connected to Kabbalah. But he says that the earth, in terms of Sfirot, is Malchut. It's the feminine aspect. You know, it receives from the heavens, from the clouds, the rain, and it produces. It gives us produce. And this whole story of the Bikurim, of taking the first fruits to the Beis HaMikdash, is the aspect of showing how the earth, you know, the seemingly low level, is actually connected to the highest levels, to the Beis HaMikdash, to Shemaim, to heaven and God, you know, which is symbolized by the Kohanim in the Beis HaMikdash. And I remember hearing a teaching as well said, when someone asked the Yanuka, what is the most important blessings, the most important avodah that we need to be working on? He said it's the blessings over food. All the different foods, we need to have more kavanah when we're talking about them, and they achieve the biggest things. And for me, myself, as we come closer to the high holidays where, you know, we're going to be engaged in tefillah and prayer all day, I find it's very important to recognize that all these blessings we make on our food throughout the day, they come almost secondhand at this point. You know, it's like my second nature when I say a blessing. But that too is a tefillah. And when we try to focus on each blessing, we'll really see how we'll say them differently. We'll have different kavanas each time we say these blessings. And so this Baal Shem Tov teaching of showing how a blessing over something like the fruit that comes from the land is really connected to Keter, to the highest of high, you know, the crown of Hashem. As we know in Kabbalah, they call it Keter Malchut. The highest level of the Sfirot, Keter, is related to the seemingly lowest level Malchut, which is the feminine aspect, which is the earth, where the food comes from. And that's why this was such a joyous occasion in Jerusalem. It was a unification of the lowest to the highest, a full connection between us and Hashem. You know, we are seemingly so lowly, but Hashem tells us, you are connected to me, to my crown. You are my children. You are the princes and princesses of the palace. So I hope that as we come closer to the high holidays, all of us can connect to this idea to focus on our prayers, focus on our brachos, and to remember that we have this direct connection to the crown of Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.